Okay, so honestly, I've been pretty embarrassed to show off my own apartment only because it's not my permanent space, but I've had so many people asking exactly how I live and if I put my own rules into practice. So today I'm gonna give you a little tour of my shoebox in the sky. So this is the kitchen. Yay. You all know how much I love gray. Unfortunately, I had no choice in the matter when it came to actually living in this unit. I've been here for 7 years now. I am very grateful for this space, but I absolutely hate that the kitchen is gray and the floors are gray. There's a few things that I've considered to actually make this space a little bit more livable so it's less noticeable. Obviously, these condo kitchens are super small. There is literally no space to do anything, so I had to bring in an island. This is from IKEA. It does the job. I, as you can see, am 6'4". Look at the comparison between the actual fridge height. I needed something that was higher up, so I opted for a bar height. Swapped out the light fixture so it feels a little bit less boob light because that's what was there. You know, I love my marble features. You are going to see an abundance of marble features in this home because obviously I could not do the countertops, so I brought it in everywhere else. So to make this kitchen even grayer, they decided to use a backsplash with a shit ton of grout, which is also another thing I hate. So the way I wanted to warm it up a little bit more was with the stainless steel and the black features, I wanted to also bring those in as accents, but warm it up with a lot of wood elements that actually carry through the entire open concept space. That being said, serving boards and cutting boards in a wood finish are the perfect addition to stack and layer on your backsplash. I even have samples from projects that I've used before just to kind of create that layered look so it gives a little bit more dimension so it doesn't come off as flat, 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 flat. If you know anything about Aesop, you know how expensive these bottles are, so I am giving them a run for their money. I have refilled this with dish soap probably 100 times, and it is still lasting today. It looks really good on the counter, and it looks very minimal. It adds that extra ambience of bringing the warmth in because of the amber bottles. I personally hate these oven and microwave combos because they take up so much excessive space to have that hood fan built in. I get it from a condo perspective. It works better because it's compact. Because I don't end up using this oven so much because it takes forever to preheat, I got one of these bad boys. I was so against the air fryer trend during COVID until I got one. I cook everything in here, especially since I'm cooking for either myself or just like 2 people. This finishes everything in no time. Well, much like any small condo kitchen, that is literally it. So let me show you what I like to call my foyer. As you can see, my foyer is literally in my kitchen because these open concept plans usually make no sense when it comes to how you live and work in your space. I needed a drop-off point for my bag, my keys, and my OCD mind has to have everything in its own place. It needs to be organized, even if it is off-center just the slightest bit. I am that weird person that will be like this, just to make sure it looks right for my own well-being. When it comes to any space, hidden storage is king. There was nothing here, and if you live in a small condo or a small rental unit, you already know there is like no storage anywhere. This unit has everything built in, and I actually have my whole collection of bags in here. That's for a whole different story. Another little secret I like to use in designing any space is any wall you have parallel to a window wall, put a large scale mirror. With a mirror of this scale, it works perfectly proportioned to the drop-off point, but also it reflects all of that natural light coming in from the window wall, which can make the space feel a little bit more expansive. Otherwise, this would just be completely flat. Expansive. And now we take 3 steps over and look, we are in the living room, which isn't that much to actually work with. I have such a small space, so I needed to be really creative when it came to actually utilizing each zone and making sure it works with my space and it works with me on a daily basis. When it comes to organization, like I said, closed storage is going to be king when it comes to everything. Also, cable management. Ideally, I would have loved to have this TV mounted on the wall and I have all the cords put behind. This is actually a support beam behind the drywall, so it's all concrete. Getting one of these off Amazon is amazing because you can get them in colors that are very similar to the actual finish of the wall. This was originally white. It is Benjamin Moore Hale Navy. It is my absolute all-time favorite color because it changes throughout the day depending on the color and the temperature of the light coming in through the windows. So during the day, it has this really blue, rich navy tone to it. And then in the evening, it gets really dark and moody, which is also a beautiful trait. So if you live in any condo space, you know that there is absolutely no lights because electricians like to be super cheap on these builds. I like to add in as many table and floor lamps as I can in any space. So in the evening, you get really great ambient light. Funny story, this is the donut light from Sabine Marcellus. This was the collaboration that they did with IKEA, I think 2 or 3 years ago. I was obsessed with it when I saw it. And I wasn't able to get it because it sold out in seconds. Funny enough, I went to IKEA 2 days ago. What were they putting out? Two of these lights. You have no idea how quickly I grabbed both of them because I was like, I'm not passing this up.
Start the car.
And they're so affordable in terms of giving that really nice glow in the evening. And funny enough, these are reselling online for like $200 when it only cost me $50. So it's a done deal for me. When it comes to a lot of my decor, I get things from all over. This is from CB2. These are from H&M. I like to mix and match the high end and the low end in terms of affordability in items. So they really give an overall dramatic look and they match really well together. When it comes to a sound system and any smart system in your home, I know Samsung people, you're gonna hate me, but Apple, I love. I have the HomePod system set up with my phone and all my lights. The reason I love the Home Smart system for Apple is because all my lights will turn on when it gets dark outside. They will turn off when I leave the house, and when I come home late at night, the entrance lights come on. It is an absolute vibe and everything is customizable and dimmable. Like I've said in many of my videos before, I've always been an advocate for original art. If you are able to find a living artist or someone on Etsy that can actually make something original for you, it is going to mean so much more in your home. Me being an artist myself, I've always been really creative when it comes to finding something or even making something myself. So this piece here, I actually had made in a stainless steel and powder coated blue and powder coated gold. This specific design, I actually designed a 3D print on my computer and I had it printed out by a manufacturer. They then hot stamped the steel on top of it so it gives that illusion of water and it has a really beautiful reflective quality to it, especially when the light hits it, and it can be its own statement piece in your home. I make these in so many different sizes. I've had so many people asking if I'm selling them yet. Not yet, but I will have them on my website soon so you can check that out. So when it comes to mixing and matching colors, I have always been huge on coordination. These marble side tables are from CB2. What's great about this stacking set is that I can pull them over to the couch. I can have an extra table for when I'm having friends over. Everything is customizable and everything is interchangeable in the space. That's one of the biggest key features I want you to think about when you're designing and decorating your home, especially if you don't have a lot of room. Not only with color, but with finishes too, I like to coordinate it. That's why I got this in a green velvet and my sofa is actually a black velvet. It still gives you that really nice sheen and reflective quality, even with these being dark finishes, because I get a lot of natural light coming from the north and the west. These help brighten up the space because they don't actually absorb more light. As I mentioned before, I absolutely hate gray flooring. Once again, did not have any choice in the matter. However, I want you to think about zoning your areas with the rugs themselves. These are the perfect opportunities to help distract from the flooring and bring a lot more warmth to those grays. That's usually quite cool because it has a lot of green and blue undertones in it. When you use rugs and a lot of warm tones throughout your entire space, it will overpower the flooring selection that you have. It will really detract from you even noticing that you have gray floors at all. As you can see, I have an obsession with marble in any unhealthy amount. I think it is a fantastic finish to use anywhere, and you can layer it and stack it on top of each other as long as those finishes either complement or juxtapose each other. I also love to stack coffee table books because if you have a large coffee table, most of the time it comes off very flat and everything almost feels like it's floating on it. With coffee table books, you can stack them and really create a layered look that not only looks more curated, but also adds a lot of visual interest because you're not met with a plane here, your floor, and any other stack in the area. You have a lot of variation to work to your advantage. So 3 years ago, before I started my business, I actually had the opportunity to buy my own condo. I unfortunately did not do that. I took the risk of investing in myself to start my business and put all my money into there. And let me tell you how grateful I am. I've been able to share all of my knowledge with so many of you across all my platforms, and it has allowed my business to grow so much. I'm so thankful for it. But that being said, as you can see, my desk is literally right behind me in the middle of my living room. Because this space is so small, I needed to be very creative and really intentional with how I laid it out. This is why this sofa is on rollers. So I can move it forward while I'm working during the day, move it back in the evening so I can actually enjoy that extra space in my living room. And as you can see, just like that, I have turned my living room into my office space itself. Once again, one of those investments I had to take when I started my business. I started on a 14-inch MacBook Air, and once I got the large screen, I could not go back. Therefore, I needed an office space that was actually dedicated to me being here every single day. I am so grateful for the amount of natural light I get, which makes my Zoom calls look absolutely phenomenal, by the way. But it's also a really great factor that I now have a committed space to work, because before I was literally working either at my island or on the couch. This way I feel like I am in my office. I am dedicated to work every single day. So this big ass motherfucker has been the bane of my existence since the day I moved in. This support column, I hate it because it divides up my space. It really reduces the amount of visual cue you have from the full window wall, and it is in the way of everything. Where my desk is, I can't have two chairs there. It would just be one chair, which is a complete waste of space. So this was the best utilization of this entire room, where it still kind of detracts from the fact that this is one ugly beast and there's really nothing you can do about it. So once again, closed storage, because there is literally not enough of it in this space. I created my own makeshift bar. This is actually an IKEA upper cabinet that I customized into making a bar. It also has a nice little drop-off point for a little decor to make it a little bit more curated. Also additional light in the evening because this area of the apartment is so dark. When it comes to decorating with any decor pieces, I always like to put things in groupings of 3 and at different scale heights. This allows a little bit more visual interest and it looks like it's actually completed. And this is Rhea's home. I know it's a little barbaric looking. It's not the greatest looking dog crate, but you know what? She loves it. She is 12 years old now. This has been her home since day one. And unfortunately, there was really no other place to put this. But at the end of the day, this is her home. She loves it. It goes where it goes. And this is where the magic happens.
Just had to say it.
Had to say it. Once again, rental unit, there's not that many things you can actually do to change up this space. Swapping out those light fixtures is one option. Painting is another. I know a lot of Americans, you unfortunately cannot paint your units, but it is going to transform your space. If you can always paint it back to that flat white. Trust me, is going to make a world of a difference. The weird thing about condo units is that when they design them, they only take into consideration the size of the bed, no actual room for nightstands. So that being said, you can see I have 2 different nightstand styles. One of them is actually a closed storage unit. The other is a nesting table just for that drop-off point. There was absolutely no room in this space to have 2 nightstands. Even if I went for smaller ones, it really threw off the scale of the space. This is a really great solution if you have that problem, because you need storage. And yes, I've said it before, you need closed storage for a nightstand. No one wants to see the tissue paper and the Jergens beside your bed.
Are those sad tissues or happy tissues?
So my OCD, once again, has to make sure my bed is perfect every single day I wake up. Yes, I'm one of those annoying people that has to perfectly make it look like a hotel bed, but it brings me so much joy, and it literally takes me 5 minutes. I have it down to a perfecting art, but the layered duvets are gonna give you that perfect cloud-like look. Also, layering in these throw pillows really gives it a really nice look that makes it look more dimensional than just having your single pillows from behind. Now, before I get the question, because I know you're going to ask is, where the fuck do you put all of this at the night? I throw it in my closet. That's literally the only room for it. It goes there at night and I bring it back in the morning. It's not a big deal and it doesn't take that much time. If you really want to step up your bedding game, make sure you upsize on whatever comforters you have. I have a queen size bed and I've gotten king size duvets as well as the slip covers. This allows for the perfect overflow on each side and the front to really allow your bed to look so much more luxurious. Look, I take 2 steps over and now I'm on the other side of my bedroom because it is so unbelievably small. I am very grateful for this size. I wish I could have a king size bed, but it just doesn't work. So once again, needing more storage. All of this clothes storage ends up being additional clothes, but it also feels a little bit more curated because I've balanced out each side with coffee table books, a jewelry box, and this is the other piece of artwork that I mentioned before. If I can give you any key takeaway from your bedroom is to get an air purifier while you sleep. This Dyson one is one of my absolute favorites because not only does the colors work so well in coordination with this room, but the app tells me everything, like when the CO2 levels are high when I'm sleeping, and it is absolutely wild to even see. So if you are loud in the bedroom, take that whichever way you want. If you snore or, you know, any other noises, get a rug. It will help reduce any sound reverberation throughout the entire space to absorb it even more, so then it actually feels more silent at night, so it's not nearly as loud. So welcome to my walk-in closet. They categorize anything as a walk-in closet these days. If you can step into it, they think it's big enough. As you can see, this is already overflowing. It has been overflowing for years. I do not have enough room for all my clothes. Yes, I know I have too many. Will I stop buying it? Probably not. Will I get more? Absolutely. This is only a portion of my seasonal pants, my t-shirts, all my suit jackets, my dress shirts, all my sweaters, as well as any kind of overflow of my bags, sweaters. I said sweaters. One other really important key feature that I added into this closet was additional storage, was the IKEA Kallax unit. This is perfect because you get that extra drawer space, but also extra space to put anything else, because before this was just dead underneath. There was only the one layer of hanging. So welcome to my bathroom. As you can see, it is smaller than a shoebox. It barely fits me to begin with, but there are a few rental-friendly upgrades that I put in this space to actually make it feel a little bit nicer, because no one likes those builder-grade bathrooms. Honestly, they don't do anything for you or your space, and they are just plain ugly. First thing I did is replace the mirror. I wanted something a little bit more organic shaped to kind of like break up that monotony of just like square rectangle in every single area of the space. Replacing the light fixture is another one, and bringing in a low light plant is going to be key to making your bathroom look really chic, because every single person that comes in here is like, how the fuck do you get to this to grow? Pothos are a great vine plant because they work in super low level light, and this thing is probably 5 years old now, and it has been going strong every single year. Once again, small storage solutions are absolute key in any space that you live in. This unit is the Mostron from IKEA. I absolutely love reeded glass, and the fact that I was able to bring this in really allows the space to have, once again, a little bit more kind of elevated look, and the black plays off of a lot of the other details I have in the shower and the elements on the sink as well. If I can give you any detail to change up in your bathroom, it is your soap pump and lotion game. These ones are from Byredo. They're a little bit more expensive. There's Aesop ones, there's Method ones, but this makes your space look so much more elevated, and honestly, the smell of these is absolutely incredible. Another key is, if you are a host, the one absolute thing you need in your bathroom is a bathroom spray. No one wants to have to go to your bathroom, stink it up, and leave for the next person to come in, especially if you live in a condo. These small rooms contain so much of that smell that it just is super overpowering. If you're making a mess in here, that is going to make it smell so much nicer. It also disperses and really eats at the bacteria that causes the smell. Another great thing you can do in your shower is swap out the fixture itself. This is just a screw-on one from Jolie. It also filters the water, so if you live in a city, you know that there is a hard water buildup you get everywhere because there is so much extra chemicals they put to treat in our water. This is fantastic for your skin and your hair. Also, when it comes to the caddy system, have something that hangs off and is super clean and sleek and really streamline the bottles that you have so they all look consistent. You do not need 20 different body washes and shampoos. Isolate them into a single bottle that you actually love and reuse, and it always looks good. So like I said, this is just a rental space. I invested all of my money into my business to really make it grow and work, and I am so thankful for every single one of you that watch my videos, because you help me save that much more towards my own space, and I cannot wait to design it and share it with all of you. Thanks for watching this home tour. Like I said before, this was actually really embarrassing for me to show off this space, because at the end of the day, this isn't what I actually love. This is not my permanent space, but this is what I was able to do to make it feel a little bit more like a home. Be sure to like this video, and if you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on all my socials at Mr. Phoenix Gray for all my daily tips and tricks. And if you're ever second guessing yourself, just ask, what would Design Daddy do?